Hello, and welcome to the introduction of The Extraordinary Life with your host, Jean Rule. I plan to revisit my anything but ordinary life and highlight some remarkable friends of mine. I'm glad you've decided to listen in. I hope to interview well over 100 interesting people I know. At times, I think it's going to feel like a Greek tragedy. Other times, a love story, an education or a sermon, maybe a history lesson or a geography lesson, or even a therapy session. And when I'm done, if that day ever comes, I hope to leave it as a legacy, something that our kids can look back on and discover who it was that I was, who I gravitated towards and admired and looked up to, who helped me to become the person I am today, and who I want to most be like tomorrow. You might know me as David, Sam, Lawrence, or more recently, Jace's mom, a homeschool mom at that, a speech coach or motorcycle rider, real estate broker, the wife of a college administrator, or perhaps I'm a perfect stranger. If so, it's nice to meet you. I hope you consider viewing more details about this podcast on my website, theextraordinarylifewithjeanrule.com. Something I've taken a lot of pride in is that I am a home improvement enthusiast and have been for over 25 years now. I've spent a considerable amount of my day creating in the form of installing and building or repairing or renovating in the 7 homes we've owned in 4 states. Ironically, as soon as I would finish one, it would coincide with the move up the higher ed career ladder for my husband, Dave, and so it would start all over. So much so that in the fall of 2010, shortly after moving 1,200 miles to the Pacific Northwest, I decided to get my real estate license so that I could buy and sell our own houses and model for the kids on how to start up a business, all during our very first year of homeschooling. My mantra has always been do hard things. Well, halfway through remodel number 7 last summer, something changed. I could relate to the character Forrest Gump, who, when facing a challenging situation in his personal life, decided to run and run from one coast to the other. Forrest ran for what seemed to be years, and then one day he just stopped. Well, I haven't completely stopped. As a matter of fact, I just finished our master bedroom walk in closet remodel. I'm even recording a series of home improvement videos, like an HGTV segment, and having fun in the process. I invite you to check it out on my YouTube channel. I plan to be more intentional moving forward, though, in sharing and inspiring people like you to tackle projects around your house. 2019 was definitely a turning point for me, a defining moment. I've dealt with a lot of transitions in life before, but this year was different. It was jam packed full of hellos and goodbyes. Fitting that it would be at the end of one decade and the beginning of another. It started in January with saying goodbye to Westminster Chapel. By May, we completed a decade long journey of homeschooling our older three and saying farewell to so many outstanding families I met along the way. In August, with a lump in my throat and a pain in my heart, I said goodbye to my baby girl Lauren as she left the nest at 17 to spend her senior year of high school in Colorado at Worldview at the Abbey. In October, I said my final goodbye to my almost 94-year-old mom, Pat Mason, as she went on to be with her Lord. Most notably, I was saying goodbye to a life filled with peace and quiet, personal space and privacy. Little did any of us realize at the time that we'd all be saying goodbye to a life as we knew it thanks to COVID 19. The goodbyes, though, were eclipsed by an avalanche of hellos that rang in the new year. Hello to Jace, our newly adopted 4-year-old son, my grandnephew, challenged with lingering trauma from neglect and drug exposure. Hello, Lake Sawyer and classical conversations and joyful noise preschool. Hello to our 21-year-old son, David, moving back home fresh with his bachelor's degree in hand and no job. Hello to a small army of younger mom friends so welcoming of Jace and I into their circles. Hello to a couple of old friends I hadn't spoken to in 35 years. Hello to my old stomping ground, upstate New York, in town from Seattle for my mom's memorial service at peak fall foliage and experiencing the majestic Mid Hudson Valley and the Adirondacks while visiting old friends and family, namely 8 of my 9 siblings. More recently, hello to social distancing and sheltering in place. It's amazing how many experiences, and more notably, people, I've had the privilege of calling my friends over the years and miles. I'm remembering just how much fun is found in deepening relationships. I don't always get them right, but I refuse to let it stop me from trying. As rewarding and successful as it is to work with my hands and create a better living space for our family, it doesn't seem to produce the level of joy and satisfaction that is only discovered by investing in another human being. A lesson a lot of us are learning, I think, through this pandemic. So, in grand, fearless Gene fashion, I'm going to stop my Forrest Gump like running and go back in time, not only to introduce you to a host of extraordinary people, but to, in some cases, write the next chapter in our joint story and make a real difference in this world. A world quite literally that could use some inspiration. The first series will focus on adoption and foster care. Nothing like the addition of a child to signify a new beginning. And as you can imagine, it's a topic very relevant to our lives right now. I'm humbled to say that I have an army of friends I know personally who have been, are, or in the process of adopting and fostering. I've asked a handful to share their experiences with you. You will be greatly blessed, I guarantee it. So, what do you say? Are you ready to embark on a pretty remarkable journey with me? My very first interview is 33 years in the making when I was just 23 years old. My whole life since has been greatly impacted by this simple volunteer experience. I hope you will be as overjoyed as I am as I interview my good friend Nicole Etuck in my first segment entitled I Will Always Love You.